now will execute the execute speech.
I, Barak Hussein Obama, solemnly swear. I, Barak Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear that I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully. That I will execute.
Yeah, execute. Yeah.
The office of President of the United States faithfully.
Execute.
Hello and welcome to this part 82. This is continuation of part 81, titled as Mind Control Weapons, but what I rather deem them to be technology used to destroy, ruin, brain burn individual, literally. And the truth about September 11, Twin Tower bombing, or Barak Hussein Obama. Who is this individual? Witnessing as unheard before. In fact, I will make my case with this witnessing more difficult. However, know that without my witnessing, more white Americans and whites worldwide will be targeted, destroyed, scapegoated, witch hunted, just as were in this September 11 event 2001, prior and after. Therefore, I am already suggesting how the crime was used to literally witch hunt and scapegoat used white individuals to experiment on them, to keep them jobless, to destroy them, to ruin them by elite Zionist, Negro, Hispanic, Asian, multicultural scum. Therefore, while they were holding those top positions from president and jobs, prosperity and everything, not only every right was taken away from us, but we were experimented on, jobless, and even assassination attempts have taken place for the sake of scapegoating, witch hunting, about which I'm about to talk to, I'm about to witness to. And yeah, I have mentioned before liabilities at the end of the part 81 in the previous video. And when it comes to liabilities, crime, state-sponsored terrorism is such crime that it is almost impossible to point at people and say, you did, you did, you did, without having the proper backup. In other words, fundaments, like I did in my case when I have literally submitted documentation and recordings for what have taken place. I would state something as I'm about to state in this video would be simply totally rejectable. It can be easily feuded, destroyed immediately, hospitalized, or perhaps incarcerated, whatever would fit government best in order to excuse their crime. And that's why now it's time for me to talk about this crime, which I have stated, will not benefit me, but definitely will point out the truth about not only highest United States of America government officials, but other politicians as well worldwide. After all, their name, as Gingrich stated, I don't want to have my name mentioned, and the same was pretty much with Ron Paul and Perry and so on, and with everybody else. Well, the truth is, I don't want either. No one wants that. No one wants to have his name stated in complaints as this one here. But when it comes all in all, through it all, my name is worth much more than names of criminals, the names of those who have created 9/11. Your problem, Mark Potok, Barak Hussein Obama, Romney, and other Zionist scum, is that you have asked with McCulture procedures, with genocide procedures, and you have done whatever have fitted to you. I don't want to hear another Alex Jones story about the yada yada. It's Nazis.
Werner von Braun, head of NASA, Hitler's top Nazi scientist. Goddard, second command. I can go right down every department, CIA, everything. Run by Nazis.
Or free press, so-called free press media. It's Nazis. When it is you that have built already over 100 million minorities in United States of America. When it is you that receive over $7,000 per month pensions, have multi-million-dollar homes, wealth that you cannot see out of it, and not us. Regular white people that have to literally, in my case, 40 years of genocide. And I have mentioned politicians worldwide. None of this would have been possible, in my cases, without the pro-Yugoslav communist scum, pro-Russian communist scum, therefore on behalf of the Soviet Union #2. None of this in complete agreement with Western world Zionists. None of this. So therefore, I don't want to hear about what you have attempted to brainwash on issues about what should be stated, what not should be stated, and so on. This case is going to go on. You're about to be disclosed to public as you are, scum. And I will witness and will do everything possible to get you behind bars. And more than anything, review the truth to white people of the United States of America and other whites worldwide for what is taking place. After all, 70 years of genocide, 70 years of genocide is no longer acceptable. If I go back to that video, part number 81, where I have stopped, just as I have stated, that abductions have taken place and I was transported from Miami to Göteborg and from there to Karlstad, like for 3 days or so, because my father already appeared in Karlstad the first or second day, and we were pretty much gone the third day or so. Therefore I was in Sweden perhaps 10 days. And then I have also mentioned before returning to Slovenia and exactly why this abduction have taken place. This abduction in '98 have mainly taken place on behalf of pro-Yugoslav, Slovenian, Slavic scum. Okay, this is very, very important. It's also multiculturalism, Balkan multiculturalism, and as I have already previously stated, I never ever was welcome in the United States of America. Since day A, the Jew at United States Immigration have told me the very same story as I was told will take place by communist pro-Yugoslav scum in so-called Slovenia prior to my departure to the United States of America in case I would decide on permanent stay. And these criminals that are involved in abduction were the criminals who have orchestrated the crime, you could say, on behalf of the United States of America government, if it was not really in complete agreement, as I stated, with Soviets, with the communist scum in ex-Eastern Bloc. We go back to that 98 abduction, rendition, McCulture from Sweden from Karlstad, Sweden, we were flown back to so-called Slovenia, as anticipated, as the whole plan was all about. Beside what were some other plans that Scandinavians had with me, and that concerned, I believe, were human experimentations, surgeries and stuff like that. They were into something else, something totally different, in consensus with communist pro-Yugoslav scum, on behalf of communist pro-Yugoslav scum. They were doing some sort of researches and stuff like that, and they actually hoped for how I would actually stay longer over there in Sweden. But as I stated, my father appeared in Karlstad already, like for the third day or so. Therefore, 10 days in Sweden, no more, before we landed in on what we landed in Slovenia. In Slovenia, McCullough procedure continued. The vegetation state, where you're pretty much like a vegetable, confined on bed, and pretty much I was not happy about this return to so-called Slovenia against my will. I have greatly rejected the parents. I couldn't stand them in any way, really. I couldn't stand them. And even less this communist scum, these gangsters who were actually threatening me here prior to my departure, even with killing me if I don't return immediately back and stuff like that. It was not. However, the thing about McCullough is that it's just a matter of time, okay, before you will agree to criminal conditions, which renditioner abductors will condition you with. Pretty much you're going to have to accept whatever they have to say and condition you with, or you will create to yourself more problems, more troubles. And I pretty much came to conclusion that it will be unnecessary troubles, as the only way out of this situation, out of such a severe crime, was for me to cooperate with these people on just about every issue, or prolonging my McCullough vegetation state for unknown duration. Simple as that. As simple as that. Either way you want it. So from the beginning, as I did not cooperate on these issues, I started to cooperate at one point, and I started to cooperate, whatever they had to say. After all, once you get up out of this situation, things are different. And I had my plan going. I had my stuff going all the time. The idea was they couldn't pretty much, in my mind, they couldn't pretty much do anything to me. The whole thing was illegal. But then when you look the situation through it all, the situation was completely state, government-sponsored terrorism in total consensus with, if you want, I don't know, Soviet Union, definitely with a pro-Yugoslav Slovenian communist scum, with the government. Therefore, how much can you do against the government? What can you do against the government? Pretty much, it's going to be the way they decide. You are a little individual, you're nothing, you're nobody. Pretty much. This, pretty much, as I have explained to you, have later applied also to what was trip, the post-trip, when returned back in the United States, for which I have deemed that as long as I am not involved in anything on my own, as long as I haven't committed anything, I have basically nothing to worry about. Well, I was wrong. Naive, young, did not know, I'm not going to say any better, but I didn't know anything about terrorism and where I came from, if you like, from this shithole here in so-called Slovenia, where I was so terribly mistreated, agonized, the only thing on my mind was to get away from it all. I knew that it's going to be a difficult thing to do, but the way things were going were definitely better for me than what would have been if I would have stayed here, pretty much. In Slovenia, situation was throughout my stay, I had what I deemed was my friend here, Simon Bartel. As I didn't stand this family of mine, I ended sleeping even at his place and so on, and we were back and forth, and they were trying to make things better. And then I had these communist neighbors here, Kotar Igor, especially in my mind, that is really one gangster, one criminal, the worst. Who were with other criminals that I have mentioned, have threatened me prior to departure that they will kill me, and then since I have decided to leave, how they will kill me when I return, and then if they will kill me, that if I don't return immediately, and so on. With this people, situation was such that I have actually have them literally condition me, to with my return to United States of America. And in other words, one day they have thrown me on an operation table in Novo Mesa Hospital and begun to condition me my departure back in the United States, on which I have insisted throughout my stay. How there will be cheap implant, there will be surgery performed, some sort of surgery on me if I will disagree on stay in so-called Slovenia. How in United States of America people are freely experimented on, how United States of America is used for experimentations, pretty much heavy communist stuff. They were just throwing one on top of another. Since I know for this scum, the only thing that have ever came out of their mouths was nothing else than lie, and I was pretty much tower of lies. And it's like you would vomit when you listen to these people. It's like, that vomitation liquid would be coming out of, it's just really, really, really nothing, in fact, that these people could say, and what I would deem as would be worthy of my listening or taking in consideration whatever they have to say and stuff like that. It was just exactly as I described. On that operation table, I have suffered what was cardiac arrest. At one point, they have this. I have totally rebelled. I had enough of this stuff. Of this abduction and everything else, and I was trying to break free from shackles, from restraints on that operation table, and they have held me down. Dr. Balajic was also present, the individual that would not release my health file prior to departure in the U.S. and they claimed me how I will be pronounced as insane if leaving the United States and stuff like that. It was really, 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 really heavy stuff. I woke up later in a wheelchair, but have decided to no longer comply with anything at all. All of a sudden I have totally rejected them. Whatever I have came to conclusion before that we could cooperate in these issues. For my sake, that I get rid of these idiots because they're not going to accomplish anything. Anyhow, the time goes by, and my plan was U.S. citizenship. This abduction had taken place right after my receiving conditional residency in the States, or the opportunity for the first time in like 3 years to exit United States. And instead of my exiting voluntarily from United States, or if I would felt like this scumbags had just go and just grab me and just throw me in a wheelchair and took me out the way they want, like I was not even a human, like I was not even like I was a teenager or something, like a retard or something like that. I mean, just completely disregarding any rights, any rights, anything at all whatsoever, completely on their own, pretty much. You see, not only that I'm 40 years old and that this surgeries, human experimentation have taken place, for which I have no right to know about what exactly have taken place, but this is pretty much how I was pretty much treated here since I was born. I don't have, actually I never had the right to decide what I want in my life, how things want to be. But it's this communist, Slavic, this way, this pro-Serbian, the way they, we handle you, we do whatever we want. From that cardiac arrest, like I said, I have rebelled. I did not comply anymore. I shit in my pants. I did just about anything possible that would make them stuff impossible. Before you know, you had Ron Paul and Romney coming to Novo Mesto, to so-called Slovenia. Not only were Swedish caretaker and Norwegian psychologist called and other Norwegian, whatever they have had that, helpers and so on, but they had literally these politicians who have agreed with this Soviet Zionist, communist Zionist agreement that to do all these renditions, play with the people like that, coming, and Ron Paul appeared as if concerned, he appeared as concerned. Romney came and they wanted to basically know what happened. I don't know if they really were concerned for me, but ever since, these people have learned a lot about the family itself, about the father, mother, and so on, and they dislike it a lot. They dislike it a lot, and one of the main things in this violent expulsion from United States of America, repatriation, if you want to call that, was the idea behind was also during the cultures that have taken place was literally compel me into violent act against the family, and that would pretty much take care of the situation. Pretty much would take care of me, parents, and so on. They simply dislike white people. I'm not going to say white people, but people that are nationally self-aware, that are that are racially aware, and it's just nothing else than Zionist technology. Paul's idea was really to turn one against another and see what's going to happen under the extreme circumstances. While literally providing all the violent services to them and stuff like that. So I did mention to you Ron Paul. I did mention to you Romney, her visit here. By now, by what was pretty much situation for me in so-called Slovenia, this not only have gained in local here echo. Slovenia is a small state anyhow. It's like 2 million people. So you're talking about state attention from highest government officials here. President that time was Dernoshik. It's something completely self-understandable. It's nothing special that they interacted greatly. On my surprise, and on one occasion during one of the McCullough procedures, we were invited on a funeral. Okay, and upon arrival to that funeral at the local graveyard here in Novo Mesto, I didn't know whose a funeral was. So just mentioning all these beautiful politicians and all that, great elite. David Cameron from United Kingdom was present. I was pretty much asked in front of him to literally go inside of the casket and be pretty much, we all agreed to bury the alive. It was toward the end of the McCullough in so-called Slovenia, and I was fed up. I had it enough. I pretty much agreed. I wanted to go inside. They stopped me, no, and then we spent some time over there They spent actually threatened me, what's going to happen if I'm going to write about that, if I'm only going to think about writing about this, that I will be, I'm telling you, life buried and I don't know what else. Just, you want to talk about this and that. Oh, it was so gorgeous, what can I say? Threats, violence, violence. Nazi. It's a Nazi. It's a Nazi. Oh, such a thing. It's a Nazi. It sounds like you would say that they were like in shock. This political elite, the world elite, they were totally shocked. And no different situation was with Angela Merkel, with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. On one occasion, when the friend of mine, this individual that I thought he was a friend of mine, have set me in his car and have taken me right here, not too far away, at the Terme, Čateške Toplice, in Slovenian language, and that's where pretty much Angela Merkel was, inside of the pool, and I was 3/4 unconscious, brought right in front of her, and have asked me, begged me, I should say, will you do that for the Germany? I told her, ma'am, there is nothing I'm not going to do for the Germany. There is absolutely nothing I wouldn't do for the Germany. However, when it came to opinion, I think that Angela and myself, we didn't have anything, we didn't have any common ground. After my asking Angela about, I didn't even know what. I was, yes, I will do, you know. And when I asked, I said, what would you like me to do? You know, just say, you know, exactly like this. Just say and we'll be done. It was shock. It was just complain against Germany. If you can complain against Germany, that will do tremendously a lot. And I pretty much understood that as something that was not in line with myself. That was something that didn't make any sense at all. I assumed that they had the wrong person, and I said, I next to this guy, what sense? What do you mean? What do you mean by this? Complaint against Germany? Very interesting. Complaint against Germany. Well, in continuation, you will find out about why complain against Germany. That didn't make any sense to me. We couldn't differ more in opinion, Angela and myself, than what we did. However, I told her, yeah, sure, but I didn't know what she was talking about. I told her, I think that I cannot really complain against the Germany because this is what I consider myself as, and there is nothing I wouldn't do for the Germany. But she seems like she just insisted on it, and have suggested to my friend to explain to me how important it is that I complain against the Germany. That didn't make any sense to me back then. And everything that Germans that were involved in this case and have done against me, and I have in my mind the Labour Party, the Communists, the Liberals, the Anarchists, multicultural scum that have followed me to the United States of America, and we'll explain in continuation. The only thing they have done is they have wasted their time and money. That's all there is, as you know now, because now, anyhow, whole world knows the truth about myself. It was all waste. All waste. So we turned around, and she was in that pool, and before we arrived, they were giving her a massage, and drinks and stuff like that. They were giving her service in that pool that she was in jacuzzi. And we walked out. That was pretty much it. That was a meeting with Angela Merkel. And you know the most beautiful thing about the culture is that that's about the only time you will meet with presidents, with leaders of the countries, of important countries, because, I don't know, not only because of their liabilities, you know, not only because of their liabilities, but I figure out that this is a bunch of cowards, actually. Because if I could, I would have grabbed them for their balls, and believe me, I would have torn them apart, their balls, from their corpses, miserable. So when they meet with person, they really target person that is, like in my situation right now, that they have me here locked for so long, so I've gained considerable amount of weight, and I'm subject to my cultural procedure, and that's when they basically approach to you, so you cannot claim anything and stuff like that. Pretty disgusting people, I would say. And that's how basically they operate. Liabilities. Do you remember when I mentioned to you liabilities in previous video? Okay, let's square this away. Moving forward. From Slovenia, I was transported. I was here for roughly 2 months. I was transported back to Scandinavia, Göteborg. And this time we didn't stay much in Göteborg. In fact, we stayed about 3-4 days. As Anderson said, so we're not going to waste time. Before you know, we were in Karlstad, where we spent another 2 weeks or so. And from Karlstad, in Sweden, where I was subjected to not only psychiatric hospital visitations, where they have performed all sorts of examinations on me. They had some special machines, is what they claimed. But I don't know really if there were only special machines they had. It's a psychiatric hospital located right in front of the hotel, Karolinen. And then you have those other complexes as well throughout the Karlstad that we had visited. I'm not going to say that Anderson treated me badly. I think that he was, as a young man, I would rate him highly, in according to situation as I was. I felt good with him. I didn't really resist to him at all. However, I was subject to multiculturalism videos. They had the Negro giving me slapping, punching me and stuff like that. They were performing the torture procedures. They were working on their multiculturalism acknowledgement. They wanted me to acknowledge the multiculturalism. And then they have literally had this Negro who was slapping me here and then. The Negro is in fact employed by Karlstad municipality, I believe, and he is a parking enforcer. I have met this individual again in what was 2010 when in Karlstad. The most beautiful thing about this people is that as soon as they see you, they approach you. Because that's how they get rid of the liabilities, I guess. It's what they assume. It's sort of like terror. Like, I'm here. Now, if you're going to say that you have seen me and this and that, it's going to be, we can say that you suffer from some sort of mental disease. I don't know, paranoia, schizophrenia, whatever, bipolar disease, whatever that is. So that was not of a surprise. It's also a form of bullying. To go and stalk individual like that, stuff like that. But that was it for Karlstad. From there we proceeded to what was Bergen, Norway. And that's when I understand important surgery have taken place. Look, they claim this to be cheap implants inserted in my brain area, brain implants, cheap. However, and as I'm about to explain in continuation, it might have been something else as well. So it's what they had to say, it's what they have claimed. It's unfortunate, it's extremely unfortunate, and I have insisted in 2010 in Karlstad, Sweden. I have also shown that in one of the videos. I have insisted on information due to abduction from hospital, from this psychiatric hospital. In fact, when I showed up in 2010, the guy that one of the workers, helpers, might have been also a physiotherapist. I do not know who that person is really, but he is employed in one of the psychiatric complexes in Karlstad. This individual actually in the United States have approached me afterwards and harassed me by saying me, we're going to see if you have a guts to come back to Karlstad. We're going to see if you have a guts to walk inside of the psychiatric hospital. If you have a guts to come and request for information. Well, the thing about it is that I did have guts. When they have saw me, they were laughing about. It was like, wow, you know. But the information, they did not give me any information. Just a little reminder for them to know who they have to do it. From Bergen back to United States of America, 2 weeks. So that was basically after like 3 months, maybe 2-3 days or so, or something like that, over around 3 months, or roughly 3 months. Back from Europe to Miami, and the road trip. Oh my goodness, the road trip. I don't know how long that road trip lasted. It might have lasted for, I don't know, a week. Actually 10 days, 2 weeks, I don't know how long it lasted. But what a road trip. It's what I did not disclose previously about the road trip. The road trip that for which I was told that it's going to be so great, it's going to be used to ease my tensions which I have experienced due to, I don't know if you want this McCullough procedures, beatings, whatever is convenient for them to say, whatever. I don't know how this people, the lies, the amount of lies that they have piled up to just, for me, they wanted me to see things completely different than what they would be. And what the road trip did was we traveled toward Washington. We stopped along the way. I think it was Tennessee. Went towards Washington, D.C., and from Washington, D.C., literally to New York City, literally in front of towers, New York towers, and they have taken the photos from me on the street, I believe right next to WC, the centers, New World Trade Centers, on that same street. On this trip, I was compelled to meet with various politicians. Mr. Gingrich was very, very active. He was sort of now became like sort of Mr. McCullough, a little tiny man. He actually became more and more active about it. The people that I met, I do not know if truth because I haven't seen him. However, I was told as it is Mr. Bill Clinton himself. I do not know exactly if that was Bill Clinton or not. I do not know. I really I can't tell you much about whether the person was. You wouldn't have ability to see. But other people that I have met also, the number one man that I met was Mr. Scumbag by the name Mark Potok. And well, Mark Potok, extremely unique character. I'm going to tell you that these people really didn't like me. They really hated my guts, but they wanted from me collaboration. They wanted from me absolute devotion, and I did not even know in what kind of devotion. What did they want from me? The only thing they wanted from me was devotion. Will you do this for us? Will you do this for United States of America? Will you help us? Will you do I don't know what for white people, for white American people? And I told them, I said pretty much there is nothing in this world, and that is true. It's that I wouldn't do for white American people. Whatever that will be asked that I would perform for white American people, I would comply with it unconditionally. Oh, Mr. Mark Potok. As you know, he is from South Poverty Center, and he could tell you he's not a Zionist, but I really don't know what would you refer this maniac as. Okay, as he explained me is later on that he can pretty much do with me whatever he wants to do. I would regard the one as a witch hunter, as a like they used to do witch hunting in Middle Ages. And that's exactly what I would refer to one as. He acted in later stage as if I will explain that. Back to Miami. Before I go on with Miami, and what I have missed, but it's to me extremely important detail. It's unrefutable witnessing here I'm providing for you. Will not fail to mention how Slovenian communist pro-Yugoslav, pro-Soviet scum have, if you remember from previous videos when I mentioned how they have I cite what they have stated to me. We will not support any white nationalist from West. We prefer not to have anything to do with any white nationalists from West. But if it's going to be David Duke. Yeah. It's exactly the reason what Romney was paying visit to so-called Slovenia. The reason for Romney's visit to so-called Slovenia is the reason why Barak, terrorist Negro Hussein Barak Obama is the president today. And today's situation is no different from Bush and prior to Bush, Clinton, and so on. Well, what I'm trying to suggest to you is that you need to understand that United States of America presidency, and as I have already explained, since Kennedy, is not who is elected, but is actually self-elected presidency. These people are not elected. These people are self-elected. You only, as a voter, get to choose between the worst and the worst. That's all there is. And pro-Yugoslav, pro-Russian, pro-Soviet communist scum have really greatly anticipated to have as a substitution to Obama what was Romney, and have at later stage and during this McUltra alone, it's something that I have skipped and is extremely important for me to state, insisted on how Romney will save me. Already Romney was already mentioned back then already, and in the McUltras that followed, and I have in my mind especially this Serbian, this half Jew or Serbian or whatever it is, husband from my daughter's sister, from my sister's daughter, have insisted how Romney will save you. Romney will save you. Excuse me. I know what I have gone through under the Bush. I know what I have gone through under Clinton, and I know, as you know, what I have gone through under Obama. No one that is that enemy to me will save me, and it's something I never ever will accept as a solution. That's number one. Before I move on, I want to clarify that, just for you to understand that Washington D.C., the Romney is nothing else than option in complete accordance, or I should say agreement, with the Soviets, with the Kommunistia, with the great USSR. Very important information and for you to keep in mind. As far as myself, upon return to Miami from Washington D.C., what they have first claimed would be a trip throughout the United States used for relaxation from what have taken place in Europe, or McUltra, over 3 months, that lasted over 3 months, but was in fact nothing else than visit to Washington D.C., where the politicians have interrogated and brainwashed me severely on issues. I was thrown on the bed by Klaus, a German individual involved in this abduction. Yes, German individual involved in this abduction, and Germans were already involved already, just as I have previously explained. You have to watch those videos, read my blogs more than anything else to understand what have taken place. He pretty much have told me, alright, and now you are to date buildings manager daughter, okay? A half negress. On what even they were shocked, because girl was not even, she was a teenager. In next following days, because they have kept me for another 3 days or so under McUltra, they have proudly demonstrated me how the technology they have implanted in me in brain technology, this chips and garbage, was capable already to simulate programs, but I'm not going to say that it was capable to simulate programs, but was definitely capable to be used as a dream type of machine that can project you dreams literally, but they're not dreams, are just recorded videos. That's all there is, software. Nothing else than computer operated wireless software is what it is. Wireless technology based on computer software. And the free gift from Washington D.C. I understand from Bill Clinton himself, or it might have been from someone else, they have, as a gift, sent me a really good slapper. And it was a bodyguard from one of these individuals that is today also part of the Barack Obama's security crew team. And he have given me I'm not going to say free hugs, but instead of free hugs, he gave me a good slapping. It was a good slapping, and it was pretty idiotic, okay? That I have to promise that I will behave like a good boy. That was basically pretense, for the real intention, which was slapping, tap, tap. Pretty stupid situation. I was not on a terror list, ever. I don't think so even today I am on a terror list, but I sure was, boy, followed 24/7 in my ass. Not only by United States immigration that wanted to deport me at whatever costs as fast as possible from United States of America back to so-called Slovenia on a communist behalf, but CIA, FBI, and not to fail to mention the entire Miami community, and I have in my mind Jews in retail, wholesale, in Miami downtown, Negroes, Hispanics. They all knew years ahead 9/11 is coming. It's exactly why Angela Merkel, as I have previously stated, wanted me to adopt the culture, if not turning into multicultural scum, communist, anarchist, because these people have ruined my life in the United States of America. And when it came to Europe, they were the one trying to assassinate me and were assisting the communist scum in so-called Slovenia at whatever costs, while at the European Union Court, Angela Merkel and Christian Wolff, have destroyed my complaint based on human rights, genocide, on complete violation of human rights, of genocide that have taken place against me. They were the one that have assisted this pro-Yugoslav communist scum. And I'm trying to tell you that 9/11 was known event that would take place. The only matter in question was who's going to get caught in between, who's going to be blamed for, and that's exactly what the event was created. They all knew, from Israel to Germany to Britain and the United States of America. The best that you could do, if you were the one to be, if you wouldn't get into multicultural relationship or become communist scum and so on, the best for the Germany would be to turn you into a scapegoat. Yeah, but this type of scapegoat situation is related to Barak, who, by the way, did commit it. Bombing. Bombing in Norway was real. He did bomb. He did plot the bomb with the help, with assistance of Norwegian government. However, he did not do the shooting. That, however, is a lie. The shooting in Norway never ever happened, and there was no shooting either in what was Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. And it will also detail you on why and how. I know that for sure. Therefore, scapegoating is the name of the game and was already prior to 9/11 event. The one to be blamed for 9/11 event were Nazis, like Alex Jones stated. It's Nazis. It is Nazis that did it. And the people of the United States of America that were deprived of everything were brainwashed and instructed how the politicians are corrupt and the politicians' banks and all kinds of garbage. Hello communism, how are you today? This is how the 9/11 came from. This is where 9/11 came from. So it's so freaking important, this witnessing that I'm doing to you. I'm the first person in this world that have truly taken time and give you the insider information on how 9/11 had really taken place. With this information, I am destroying whatever these people have done. Actually, I'm taking it from them, everything away from them, and I'm giving you the truth.
I will execute the execute speech.
I, Barak, Hussein Obama, I solemnly swear. I, Barak Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear that I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully. That I will execute.
Yeah, execute, yeah.
The office of President of the United States faithfully.
Execute.
To the